The alarm screamed through Kepler Station like a wounded animal. Red lights flashed in every corridor. And the emergency announcement echoed off the metal walls in 12 different languages. Medical, Emergency and Construction Sector 7. All medical teams respond, immediately. Dr. Zethkar dropped the datapad he was reading and ran toward the medical bay. His forearms moved quickly as he grabbed his emergency kit. The crystalline plates on his back clicked together as he moved. He had been a trauma surgeon for 30 years, working on dozens of different alien species. Nothing surprised him anymore. Or so he thought. The transport ship that brought the injured workers landed in the station's emergency dock with a loud crash. Steam hissed from its engines. Dr. Zethkar and his team rushed forward with their floating medical beds and scanning equipment. What happened? Dr. Zethkar asked the pilot, a nervous-looking Rigelian whose green skin was pale with fear. Construction accident, the pilot said. A support beam fell. Hit 4 workers. The others got out, but these 4... He shook his head. Bad, very bad. The medical team moved quickly. They pulled the first victim from the transport. It was Telesh, an Etherian. His thin, almost see-through body was covered in cuts. His gossamer wings were torn, but the medical scanners showed he would live. Dr. Veltar, another doctor on the team, started working on him immediately. The second victim was Gorak, a Krugan warrior. His thick armored skin had protected him from most of the damage. A few dents in his natural armor, some internal bleeding, but nothing serious for his species. Dr. Yelona took him to another medical bed. The third was XY447, a synthoid. The liquid metal being had been partially scattered by the impact, but synthoids could reform themselves. Already the silver liquid was pulling back together into a humanoid shape. Then they reached the fourth victim. Marcus Chen lay on the transport floor, his breathing shallow but steady. He was human, one of the newer species to join the Galactic Confederation. His brown hair was dusty and his work clothes were torn, but his eyes were open and he was looking around with concern. "How are the others?" Marcus asked as the medical team approached him. Telesh took a bad hit. "Is he okay?" Dr. Zethkar blinked his large black eyes. The human was talking. That was strange. The preliminary scanner reading from the transport had shown massive trauma. But humans were tough, everyone knew that. Maybe the scanner was wrong. "Do not worry about the others," Dr. Zethkar said, running his medical scanner over Marcus's body. "We need to check your injuries first." The scanner beeped. Then it beeped again. Then it started making a continuous whining sound that Dr. Zethkar had never heard before. "What is wrong with this machine?" Dr. Veltar asked, looking over from where he was treating Telesh. Dr. Zethkar tapped the scanner with one of his 4 hands. The reading stayed the same. 17 broken bones, fractured ribs on both sides, left arm broken in 3 places, right leg fractured, pelvis cracked, 3 vertebrae in his spine showing stress fractures. "This cannot be correct," Dr. Zethkar muttered. "What cannot be correct?" Marcus asked. He tried to sit up. No, stay still," Dr. Zethkar said quickly. "You have been badly injured." "You must not move." Marcus looked confused. "I feel okay. Well, I mean, everything hurts, but I can move." To prove his point, he slowly pushed himself up to a sitting position. "See?" Every alien in the medical bay stopped what they were doing and stared. Dr. Zethkar's scanner showed that Marcus Chen had 17 broken bones. According to every medical database in the Galactic Confederation, 17 broken bones should kill any known species. At minimum, it should cause immediate unconsciousness and system shutdown. But Marcus was sitting up. He was talking. He was asking about his coworkers. "Run the scanner again," Dr. Veltar called out. "Something is wrong with the machine." Dr. Zethkar ran the scanner over Marcus 3 more times. Each time, the result was the same. 17 broken bones. "Is there a problem?" Marcus asked. "You all look worried." "You have many broken bones," Dr. Zethkar said slowly. 17 broken bones, Marcus nodded. "Yeah, I figured. The beam hit me pretty hard." "How bad is 17? I broke my leg skiing once, and that was pretty annoying." 17 broken bones should kill you," Dr. Yelona said bluntly. She was working on the Krugan, but she kept looking over at Marcus with confusion. "Kill me?" Marcus laughed, then winced as the movement hurt his ribs. "Come on, they are just broken bones. I mean, it hurts a lot. But people break bones all the time on Earth." My grandmother broke her hip and still worked her garden for 3 hours before she went to the hospital. The medical team exchanged looks. This was impossible. We need to get you to surgery immediately, Dr. Zethkar said. Okay, Marcus agreed. But can someone check on Telesh first? He looked really hurt when the beam fell. Dr. Zethkar helped Marcus onto the floating medical bed. As they moved toward the surgical area, he called up Marcus's medical file on his scanner. Humans were a relatively new species in the Confederation. Their medical data was limited. What he saw made him pause. Human bones were made of something called calcium phosphate. According to the file, human bones were actually quite weak compared to most other species. The Krugen bones were reinforced with metal compounds. The Vorthon bones were crystalline and nearly unbreakable. Even the fragile Etherians had bones made of flexible carbon fibers. But human bones were just bone. Soft, weak, organic material. How was Marcus still conscious? How was he moving? How was he alive? Doctor, Marcus said as they entered the surgical area. I know this might sound weird, but do you have anything for pain? It really hurts. Dr. Zethkar stared at him. You are in pain? Well, yeah, Marcus said. 17 broken bones hurt. But I have been hurt worse. One time I fell off my bike and broke my arm and scraped up my whole side. That was worse than this. Dr. Zethkar's forehands trembled as he prepared the surgical equipment. In 30 years of medicine, he had never seen anything like this. He had treated warriors who could survive losing limbs. He had operated on beings who could regrow organs. But he had never seen someone function normally with 17 broken bones. And Marcus Chen was not just functioning. He was worried about his friends. He was making jokes. He was complaining about the pain like it was a minor inconvenience, Doctor? Marcus asked. Is everything okay? He looked confused. Dr. Zethkar looked down at the human on his operating table. Marcus had 17 broken bones and was asking if the doctor was okay. Everything is fine, Dr. Zethkar lied. We will fix your bones. But as he prepared for surgery, one thought kept running through his mind. What kind of species treats 17 broken bones like a minor problem? He was about to find out. The surgical room on Kepler Station was designed for many different types of alien biology. The lights could change color for species with different vision. The air could be adjusted for different breathing needs. The operating table could reshape itself for bodies with shells, extra limbs, or no solid form at all. But Dr. Zethkar had never operated on a human before. Marcus Chen lay on the table, still awake and talking. Most species would be unconscious by now from pain and shock. The medical computers kept showing error messages. They could not understand how someone with 17 broken bones was still functioning. So how long will this surgery take? Marcus asked. I need to get back to work. We were installing new gravity generators in Sector 7, and the job is only half done. Dr. Veltar looked at Dr. Zethkar with confusion. He wants to go back to work? You are not going back to work anytime soon, Dr. Zethkar told Marcus. You need to heal first. How long does healing usually take? Marcus asked. Dr. Zethkar checked his medical database. For most species, 17 broken bones meant months of recovery, if they survived at all. Many months, he said. Maybe a year. Marcus looked surprised. A year for broken bones? That seems like a long time. When I broke my arm as a kid, I was back to playing sports in 6 weeks. Dr. Yelona dropped her medical scanner. It clattered on the floor. 6 weeks? Well, the doctor said 8 weeks, but I felt fine after 6, Marcus explained. Are alien bones different or something? Dr. Zethkar and his team looked at each other. They were starting to realize that human bones might be very different indeed. Let us start the surgery, Dr. Zethkar said. We will use local pain medicine so you stay awake. That way we can monitor your responses. Sounds good to me, Marcus agreed. I hate being knocked out anyway. Makes me feel weird when I wake up. Dr. Zethkar injected the pain medicine into Marcus's arm. He waited for it to take effect, then made the first cut to examine the broken ribs. What he saw made him stop and stare. Human bones were not solid like Vorthon crystal bones. They were not dense like Krugen metal bones. Instead, they had a strange hollow structure like a honeycomb. Tiny holes and spaces ran through the bone material. This is very strange, Dr. Veltar said, looking at the scanner readings. These bones are mostly empty space. Yeah, that is normal for humans, Marcus said cheerfully. We learned about it in school. Makes our bones lighter but still strong. Pretty cool design, actually. Dr. Zethkar examined one of the broken ribs more closely. The bone had cracked, but the crack had not gone all the way through. The honeycomb structure was still holding the pieces together. It was like the bone was designed to break partially but keep working. How is this possible? Dr. Yelona whispered. Marcus heard her. How is what possible? Your bones, Dr. Zethkar explained. They are broken, but they are still supporting your body. This should be impossible. Oh, that, Marcus said. Yeah, human bones are pretty flexible. We evolved that way because we fall down a lot. Our ancestors used to climb trees and run around on rocky ground. If our bones broke completely every time we fell, we would have died out millions of years ago. Dr. Zethkar was fascinated. He moved to examine Marcus's left arm, which was broken in 3 places. Again, he found the same thing. The bones were cracked, but the internal structure was still holding everything together. Your species falls down a lot? Dr. Veltar asked. All the time, Marcus laughed. Kids fall down constantly when they are learning to walk. Athletes fall during sports. People trip on stairs. I probably fall down at least once a month. The alien doctors looked horrified. And you survive this? Dr. Yelona asked. Usually, Marcus said. I mean, sometimes people get hurt badly, but most falls just leave bruises or maybe a sprained ankle. Humans are pretty bouncy. Dr. Zethkar continued the surgery, fixing each broken bone carefully. As he worked, he discovered more amazing things about human biology. The muscles around the broken bones had tightened to create natural splints. The blood vessels had sealed themselves to prevent dangerous bleeding. The nervous system was still working perfectly despite damage to the spine. This is incredible, Dr. Veltar said. It is like your body was designed to be damaged and keep working. I guess so, Marcus agreed. My dad always said humans are like old trucks. We might make weird noises and have dents, but we keep running. Dr. Zethkar paused in his work. What is a truck? It is a machine we use to carry heavy things, Marcus explained. The old ones were really tough. You could beat them up pretty badly and they would still work. The medical team was starting to understand. Humans were not fragile like the Etherians, who could be seriously hurt by a strong breeze. They were not heavily armored like the Krugans, who rarely got injured at all. Instead, humans were built to get injured and keep going. Doctor, the station's AI voice said through the speakers. I am receiving calls from other medical facilities. They want to know about the human patient who is still conscious with 17 broken bones. Dr. Zethkar looked up from his work. How do they know about this? The preliminary medical report was automatically sent to the Galactic Medical Database, and the AI explained. It has been flagged as impossible. Tell them it is not impossible, Marcus said. It just hurts a lot. Dr. Zethkar finished repairing the last of the broken bones. Human bone structure was so different from other species that he had to invent new surgical techniques as he worked. But Marcus's body seemed to heal itself faster than any species he had ever seen. Surgery is complete, Dr. Zethkar announced. Great, Marcus said, sitting up on the table. Can I go back to work now? No. All 3 doctors said at the same time. Marcus looked confused. Why not? I feel much better. Dr. Zethkar realized that everything he thought he knew about biology was wrong. Humans were not just tough. They were impossibly tough. They were built to survive things that would kill most other species, and they thought it was normal. Marcus, Dr. Zethkar said slowly, I think we need to learn more about human medicine. Sure, Marcus said. Happy to help. But can we do it while I am working? Those gravity generators are not going to install themselves. Dr. Zethkar looked at his patient, who wanted to return to heavy construction work hours after surgery for 17 broken bones. Maybe humans were not just tough. Maybe they were crazy too. Dr. Zethkar could not sleep that night. He kept thinking about Marcus Chen and the surgery. Everything about human biology seemed impossible, but the evidence was right in front of him. The next morning, he called the Galactic Medical Council. Dr. Zethkar, said Council Leader Morden, a wise old Zentorian whose blue skin showed his advanced age. We received your medical report. There must be an error in your data. There is no error, Dr. Zethkar replied. I have checked everything multiple times. The human patient had 17 broken bones and remained conscious and functional throughout. That is impossible, said Dr. Keksara, the Council's chief trauma specialist. No known species can survive that level of skeletal damage. Would you like me to transmit the surgical recording? Dr. Zethkar asked. Please do, Morden said. Dr. Zethkar sent the video files from the surgery. He waited while the council members watched. He could hear surprised sounds and gasps coming through the communication link. This is extraordinary, Dr. Keksara said after watching the entire surgery. Show me the bone structure analysis again. Dr. Zethkar replayed the section where he examined Marcus's ribs. The honeycomb structure was clearly visible in the detailed scans. Fascinating, Morden said. The bone design allows for partial failure while maintaining structural integrity. It is like they were engineered for damage. That is what I thought, Dr. Zethkar agreed. But there is more. He showed them the recordings of Marcus talking during surgery, asking about returning to work, and expressing concern for his co-workers. The psychological response is equally remarkable, Dr. Zethkar explained. He showed no signs of trauma shock. No fear, no panic. He was more worried about finishing his construction job than about his own injuries. The council watched in amazement as Marcus sat up on the operating table and asked when he could go back to work. We need to study this species more carefully, Morden declared. Dr. Zethkar, can you perform more detailed tests? I will ask the patient, Dr. Zethkar said. When Dr. Zethkar returned to the medical bay, he found Marcus doing exercises in his bed. The human was carefully moving his arms and legs, testing his range of motion. Good morning, doctor, Marcus said cheerfully. I feel much better today. The pain is almost gone. Dr. Zethkar checked his scanner. Marcus's bones were healing faster than should be possible. In one day, they had already begun to knit back together. Marcus, Dr. Zethkar said, the Galactic Medical Council would like to study your recovery. They have never seen anything like your biology before. Sure, Marcus agreed. As long as it does not take too long. My supervisor is expecting me back at work soon. Dr. Zethkar arranged for a full medical team to study Marcus over the next few days. Doctors from 12 different species came to examine the human. They ran every test they could think of. Dr. Helix, a crystalline whose body was made of living diamond, was amazed by human bone density. These bones should not work, she declared. They are too light, too hollow, but somehow they are stronger than they appear. Dr. Thrum, a massive Goliathan whose bones were solid stone, could not understand human pain tolerance. He registers pain signals that would incapacitate my entire species, Thrum rumbled in his deep voice. Yet he continues to function normally. Dr. Whisper, an energy being who had to speak through a translation device, was fascinated by human healing. The cellular repair rate is incredible, Whisper's mechanical voice announced. His bones are rebuilding themselves in real time. Marcus enjoyed talking to all the different doctors. He told them stories about human injuries and healing. One time my cousin fell off a roof and broke 6 ribs, Marcus said. He drove himself to the hospital. The doctors looked shocked. Another time my friend Sarah broke her ankle during a marathon race, Marcus continued. She finished the race anyway. Took her 4 hours, but she finished. Impossible, Dr. Helix said. Not for humans, Marcus replied. We are pretty stubborn about finishing things we start. Dr. Zethkar was documenting everything. The more he learned about humans, the more amazed he became. Human children routinely survived injuries that would kill adult aliens. Human athletes regularly pushed their bodies beyond what medical science said was possible. Human workers continued functioning with injuries that should require immediate hospitalization. Tell me about human pain medicine, Dr. Thrum asked Marcus. Well, for minor stuff we just ignore it, Marcus said. For bigger injuries we have pills that help. But mostly we just deal with it. You just deal with pain? Dr. Whisper asked. Yeah, Marcus said. Pain is just your body telling you something is wrong. Once you know what is wrong, the pain is not really useful anymore. So you ignore it and fix the problem. Dr. Zethkar stopped writing and stared at Marcus. You ignore pain? Not completely, Marcus explained. But you cannot let it stop you from doing what needs to be done. Pain is temporary. The job still has to get finished. The medical team exchanged glances. They were beginning to understand something important about humans. Marcus, Dr. Zethkar asked, what would you do if you broke your leg during an emergency? Marcus thought for a moment. Well, I would probably make a splint out of something and keep going until the emergency was over. Then I would go to the hospital. Even with a broken leg? Dr. Helix asked. Sure, Marcus said. People are depending on you during an emergency. You cannot just quit because you are hurt. Dr. Zethkar realized that humans were not just physically tough. They were mentally tough too. They had evolved to ignore their own pain and keep working when others needed help. That evening, Dr. Zethkar transmitted his full report to the Galactic Medical Council. He included video interviews with Marcus, detailed scans of human bone structure, and analysis of human pain responses. The response was immediate. Medical facilities across the galaxy requested copies of the data. Military leaders asked for briefings. Scientists wanted to study human evolution. Dr. Zethkar, Council Leader Morden, called him personally. Your discovery may change everything we know about biological limits. I am just documenting what I observed, Dr. Zethkar replied. What you observed, Morden said, is a species that treats catastrophic injury as a minor inconvenience. Do you understand what this means? Dr. Zethkar looked through the medical bay window at Marcus, who was now walking around and asking when he could return to work. Yes, Dr. Zethkar said. I think I do. He was beginning to understand that humans were not just another species in the Galactic Confederation. They were something entirely new, something that changed the rules about what living beings could survive. And Marcus Chen had no idea how extraordinary he was. 3 days after the surgery, Marcus Chen was walking around the medical bay like nothing had happened. He had asked Dr. Zethkar 17 times when he could return to work. His bones were healing so fast that the medical scanners could barely keep up. The news of his case had spread across the galaxy faster than a solar flare. General Fractor of the Hegemony Defense Force was the first military leader to arrive at Kepler Station. He was a huge Krugan with battle scars covering his armored hide. He had fought in 12 wars and survived injuries that would kill most beings. I want to see this human, General Vraktar demanded when he met Dr. Zethkar. He is in the recovery ward, Dr. Zethkar said. But I should warn you, he is getting restless about returning to work. General Vraktar laughed, a sound like rocks grinding together. After 17 broken bones? This I must see. They found Marcus doing push-ups on the floor of his room. Marcus, Dr. Zethkar said, this is General Vraktar. He wanted to meet you. Marcus stood up and smiled. Nice to meet you, General. Cool armor. General Vraktar stared at the human. Marcus was smaller than most species, with soft skin and no natural weapons. He looked harmless, but the medical report said he had survived injuries that would kill a Krugan warrior. Human, General Vraktar said in his deep voice. Show me your injuries. Marcus lifted his shirt. Faint lines showed where Dr. Zethkar had made the surgical cuts, but they were almost healed. His ribs had been broken in 6 places just 3 days ago. Incredible, General Vraktar muttered. How do you feel? Pretty good, Marcus said. Still a little sore, but not bad. I have had worse injuries from playing football. What is football? The general asked. Marcus explained the sport where humans deliberately ran into each other at full speed, often getting injured, then got back up and continued playing. General Vraktar listened in growing amazement. Your species does this for fun? Sure, Marcus said. It is a great game. Really builds character. That afternoon, Admiral Sil Nth of the Confederation Navy arrived. She was a tall, graceful Etherian, whose species was known for their fragility. A strong wind could seriously injure an Etherian. I do not understand, Admiral Sil Nth told Dr. Zethkar. Our intelligence report said humans were weak. We have been protecting them in joint operations because we thought they were delicate. It appears our intelligence was wrong, Dr. Zethkar replied. Admiral Sil Nth met with Marcus in the medical bay garden. She moved carefully, her gossamer wings fluttering nervously. Marcus, she said in her soft voice, I command a mixed species fleet. We have been very careful with human crew members because we thought they were fragile, but your medical case suggests otherwise. Marcus looked confused. Fragile, humans? Who told you that? Your bones are made of soft organic material, Admiral Sil Nth explained. Your skin has no armor. You have no natural weapons. By galactic standards, you appear very delicate. Marcus laughed. I guess we do look pretty soft compared to some species. But humans are actually really tough. We had to be to survive on Earth. What was dangerous about Earth? Admiral Sil Nth asked. Marcus thought for a moment. Well, everything really. Predators that wanted to eat us, weather that could freeze or cook us, diseases, natural disasters. Poisonous plants and animals. We basically evolved on a planet that was trying to kill us every day. Admiral Silenth's wings stopped fluttering. Your home planet is hostile? Pretty hostile, Marcus agreed. But you adapt. Humans got good at healing from injuries, dealing with pain, and keeping going when things got tough. We had to, or we would have died out. By the end of the week, representatives from dozens of species had come to study Marcus. The small medical bay was crowded with aliens of every size and shape. Dr. Morgeth, a blob-like gelatin whose species could regenerate from almost any injury, was fascinated by human pain tolerance. When I'm injured, I simply absorb the damaged parts and regrow them, Dr. Morgeth bubbled. But you continue functioning with the injury still present. How is this possible? Practice, I guess, Marcus said. Every human grows up getting hurt and learning to deal with it. Scraped knees, bumped heads, broken bones. You learn that pain does not mean you have to stop what you are doing, Commander. Stalix of the Robotic Collective was interested in human engineering capabilities. Our records show you completed a complex gravity generator installation while injured, Commander Stalix said in his mechanical voice. How did you maintain precision with damaged motor functions? Oh, that, Marcus said. Well, the work still needed to be done. When you are hurt, you just have to be more careful and take your time. The gathered aliens looked at each other with surprise. Dr. Zethkar was documenting every conversation. What he was learning about humans was changing everything the galaxy thought it knew about biological limitations. Humans were not just tough. They were practical. They did not let injuries stop them from completing important tasks. They treated severe pain as a minor inconvenience. They had evolved on a hostile planet that had made them incredibly resilient, and they thought this was normal. Dr. Zethkar, Council Leader Morden, called that evening. We need to convene an emergency session of the Galactic Council. This discovery about human capabilities has major implications. What kind of implications? Dr. Zethkar asked. Military, economic, social, Morden replied. If humans can function normally with injuries that would incapacitate our best warriors, we may have seriously underestimated their potential. Dr. Zethkar looked through the window at Marcus, who was teaching a group of young alien medical students how to do human exercises. I think you are right, Dr. Zethkar said. The galaxy was about to learn that the small, soft humans they had been protecting were actually among the toughest beings alive. And Marcus Chen still just wanted to get back to work. 3 weeks after the accident, Marcus Chen finally got permission to return to work. His bones had healed completely, faster than any alien medical expert thought possible. Dr. Zethkar had never seen anything like it in 30 years of medicine. Are you sure you feel ready? Dr. Zethkar asked as he signed Marcus's release papers. Doctor, I felt ready 2 weeks ago, Marcus replied with a grin. Thanks for taking such good care of me. But those gravity generators are not going to install themselves. Dr. Zethkar watched Marcus walk out of the medical bay with his normal, confident stride. No one would ever guess that 3 weeks ago, this human had 17 broken bones. That same day, the Galactic Medical Symposium convened on the capital world of Centauri Prime. Representatives from every major species attended. Dr. Zethkar stood at the podium, looking out at an audience of the galaxy's most brilliant medical minds. Distinguished colleagues, Dr. Zethkar began, what I am about to show you will change everything we think we know about biological limits. He presented his findings about human physiology, the honeycomb bone structure that allowed partial failure while maintaining function, the pain tolerance that let humans work through injuries that would incapacitate other species, the healing rate that defied all known medical science. Impossible, declared Dr. Vexran, the famous hegemony surgeon. No species could evolve such capabilities. The evidence is here, Dr. Zethkar replied, showing detailed scans and videos from Marcus's treatment. Dr. Yilsek, a crystalline medical researcher, stood up. Dr. Zethkar, are you suggesting that humans routinely function with severe injuries? Not just function, Dr. Zethkar corrected. They excel. Patient Marcus Chen was concerned about completing his work assignment while undergoing surgery for 17 broken bones. A murmur of disbelief rippled through the audience. Dr. Zethkar showed the video of Marcus doing exercises in his hospital bed, asking about returning to work and teaching alien doctors about human physiology. This changes trauma medicine for every species, announced Dr. Halcor, the head of Galactic Medical Research. If humans can develop these capabilities through evolution,
perhaps we can learn techniques to improve healing in other species. The symposium voted unanimously to establish new research protocols based on human medical data.
medical schools across the galaxy began updating their textbooks, but the changes went far beyond medicine. On the military world of Hegemony Prime, General Vraktar addressed the Defense Council. "Fellow warriors," he announced, "we have been protecting humans in combat because we thought they were fragile. We were wrong. They may be the toughest fighters in the galaxy." The council watched recordings of Marcus walking around with 17 broken bones, explaining how humans played sports that deliberately caused injuries. "Recommend immediate revision of human military classifications," General Vraktar concluded. "These beings are not fragile civilians. They are natural-born soldiers." Similar meetings were happening across Confederation space. The Etherian High Command began recruiting human bodyguards, realizing that what they thought was weakness was actually incredible strength. The Robotic Collective requested human engineers for dangerous assignments, knowing they could work through injuries that would stop other species. Trade Federation leaders recalculated the value of human labor. Workers who could function with broken bones were incredibly valuable for dangerous jobs. But the biggest changes happened in how other species saw humans in general. The Zentaurian embassy on Earth received thousands of requests from alien species wanting to visit the human homeworld. They wanted to see the hostile planet that had created such resilient beings. Ambassador Kelthar, a dignified Zentaurian diplomat, met with the human government. "Your people have surprised us," Ambassador Kelthar admitted. "We thought Earth was a peaceful garden world. We now understand it was a forge that shaped your species into something extraordinary." Human diplomats were confused by the sudden change in how aliens treated them. They had always thought of themselves as normal. The idea that their ability to deal with pain and injury was unusual seemed strange. Back on Kepler Station, Marcus returned to his construction job. His supervisor, a practical Rigelian named Vextor, greeted him with relief. "Marcus, good to have you back," Vextor said. "How do you feel?" "Great," Marcus replied. "Ready to finish those gravity generators." "The medical team said you had 17 broken bones," Vextor said with amazement. Marcus shrugged. "Yeah, that sucked. But I'm fine now." Vextor stared at him. 3 weeks ago, Vextor had thought humans were delicate beings who needed protection. Now he was realizing that Marcus was probably the toughest member of his construction crew. "Marcus," Vextor said slowly, "would you be interested in leading the team for our next project? It is a dangerous job on an asteroid mining platform." "Sounds fun," Marcus agreed. "What kind of dangers?" "High radiation, unstable gravity, risk of accidents," Vextor listed. "No problem," Marcus said. "I have worked in worse conditions." As Marcus returned to work, word of his case continued to spread. Medical journals published papers about human physiology. Military academies studied human endurance. Engineering schools taught courses on human work capabilities. Dr. Zethkar received a promotion to head the new Human Studies Department at the Galactic Medical Institute. His research on Marcus had opened an entirely new field of medicine. 6 months later, Dr. Zethkar received a message from Marcus. It was a picture of Marcus and his construction crew after completing the dangerous asteroid mining project. Marcus was smiling and giving a thumbs up. In the background was the new mining platform they had built. The message said, "Thanks for fixing me up, Doc. Hope you are doing well. By the way, I broke my wrist last week when I slipped on some ice, but it is healing fine. These things happen. Take care." Dr. Zethkar looked at the message and shook his head with amazement. Marcus had broken another bone and mentioned it like a minor footnote. For humans, apparently, breaking bones really was just one of those things that happened. Dr. Zethkar made a final entry in his medical log. "Today marks 6 months since the Marcus Chen case changed our understanding of biological limits. I have learned that what we considered impossible endurance humans call Tuesday. They evolved on a world that tested them constantly, and they adapted by becoming incredibly resilient. What other species see as extraordinary toughness, humans see as normal life. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about humans is not their ability to survive severe injuries. It is their attitude toward those injuries. They do not see pain and damage as reasons to stop. They see them as problems to solve while continuing with their lives. The galaxy thought humans were weak because they appeared soft and vulnerable. We were measuring them by the wrong standards. Humans are not weak. They are anti-fragile. They do not just survive damage. They expect it, adapt to it, and keep going anyway. I recommend that all medical personnel study human physiology and attitude toward injury. We have much to learn from a species that treats catastrophic trauma as a minor inconvenience. End log. Dr. Zethkar closed his computer and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Marcus Chen was probably building something, fixing something, or helping someone. And if he got hurt doing it, he would just bandage himself up and keep going. Because that is what humans do.